So we're going to go to my screen. Go slow. Hey guys, leave some comments in the chats on both YouTube and Facebook if you don't mind. Tell me where you're watching from. I know some of you already posted on there. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see where everybody's calling in or watching in from. And then if you got any questions, feel free to throw those in the comments as well. We're going to be starting here in just a little over a minute. All right, looks like we are good to go. So I am going solo off, and then I'm going to, let me see this. I got to get my screen up here one more time because I got a PowerPoint I'm showing you guys today. So how's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are doing awesome. Awesome. Let me, actually, I got to go. There we go. And I'm going to go like that. I think if I go like this, and then I got to go. All right. So I I'm trying something different tonight because I want to make sure you guys see a presentation, training, and I got a PowerPoint to go with it. This was the kind of the headline and everything. So first off, let me say thank you for jumping on here. Feel free to share this. Feel free to make comments below. I'll be able to check those. I'm going to have my Facebook page going on over here on my phone so they can see that. And hopefully you're I think I'm looking at it good. You'll be able to see most of this stuff pretty simple. There'll be some things on here on some of these slides you may not be able to catch, but okay, that looks pretty good. But what I'm doing tonight is I wanted to kind of do another Facebook Live / YouTube training on getting leads, because I put it in the post that most people, one of the hardest things that they have to overcome and they got to get in business is they got to figure out how to get more people to talk to, because it's a numbers game. Yes. No. So sorry, my son just walked into my office here to ask about something. But one of the things that I'm going to show you in this is I want you to think a bit about this for a second. How fast do you think you could earn money in your business if you had 10 to 20 interested people per day wanting to talk to you about what you had to offer, whether that was opportunity, product, service, whatever? Okay. Do you think that would make a difference? Okay. Have you ever had trouble with that? Have you ever been in a situation where you just ran out of people to talk to? You're tired of, being in the NFL crew, the, no friends left situation. And a lot of people there, I've been there more times than you can think of. Okay. And better yet, at the bottom of this slide, what if you had people that could be enrolling as maybe, customers or representatives, distributors, whatever, that you never even talked with? Would that really get you excited about your business? More than likely, right? Okay, so first off, I'm going to give you guys some gifts at the end of this for being on here, and if you stick around, great. I have some gifts for you at the end to help you get started. I get some free stuff for you. Okay, some links I'm going to give you. I'll let you know ahead of time. That way you can screenshot it and make sure you get those links. All right. Now, here's the thing. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And this was something that I had to learn a long time ago. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. If you've ever been given leads, or you've ever been given a distributor or given a customer, that's awesome. That's exciting and so on. But what happens if that dries up? All right. If you don't know how to fish, you'll starve, especially in direct selling networking. You have to figure out, you have to get good at finding people to talk to, because this will absolutely change every aspect of your business if you can do that. All right. Now, I'm going to give you the example to kind of encourage you of something that I learned many years ago. This is probably in 1999 to the year 2000. I'd been in networking for a few years. I had gotten a few people started and so on. I went to a training, and the reason I have this dollar up is I went to a training. This guy did a meeting. It was an amazing training that I was at. Okay. Before break, before we had a little 15-minute break, this guy said, "Hey, I got a contest we're going to do, and I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to teach you about the numbers and working the numbers and so on. And I need everybody to come back from this meeting with a dollar bill." Okay. And then I'll explain the details but I need everybody to have a $1 bill. So we return back from the break. The guy says, "Okay, here's what the game is. We're going to do a game. I need everybody here that show your dollar bill." So everybody waves their dollar bill. And then he said, "Here's what we're going to do is you have to come up with something to ask somebody in this room when I give you everybody's going to be walking around in the room, that would encourage them or entice them to give you their dollar." All right. Now I'm going to give you 15 minutes to get as many dollar bills as you can. And then after that, I got some awards for the top people and so on. So he kind of left it at that. He said, "Doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter what you do." And so what happened was during this contest, I had my dollar. I started thinking, I'm like, okay, if the contest is to get as many dollars as I can, how can I get dollars quick? So what I thought in my head, I was like, I'm going to have to come up with a powerful question, an entry question. And my question was, "Hey, if you give me $1, I'll teach you everything you need to know to be a millionaire in the next 6 months." And that people would hand me my dollar. But as soon as they gave me their dollar, I took the dollar and I moved over to the next person. And I asked that person this next question. And I went to the next person. And what I did is I hit the number. I hit more. I said less to more people, right? Now, the thing is after we got done with the break and the guy said, "Hey, how many people here lost their dollar?" And the majority of people just lost their dollar. "And how many of them you have no more dollars?" And most of them, had to sit down because we were all standing, and probably 3/4 of the room just sat down. They'd lost their dollars because what had happened is when they got a little discouraged because maybe they only talked to one person, they only had one lead, one prospect or 5 or whatever. When it didn't work or somebody took their dollar, they just dropped out. Whereas somebody like myself who realized it was a numbers game and started asking and asking, I actually turned out to be the number one guy in that contest. And I didn't even realize what had happened. I think I got $37. So I'd asked the question I said, less to more people. And the reason I bring in this story up, because it's a powerful lesson in understanding that this type of business is just a numbers game. And most people just get hung up with only you get discouraged early in your game, in your career, because maybe you only have 1 or 2 people to talk to, or a list of 50 people. Maybe you have a list of 100 people that and I'm all about talking to friends and family. There's nothing wrong with that as an initial thing. But when you run out of people to talk to, a lot of times your business dies, okay? Because whoever tells the story the most wins. This is something that's been regurgitated, and it is a truth. It is a principle that never changes. Now, I'll give you the example here. So what if you had 10 leads per day, 10 quality people per day, 5 days a week? That would equal 50 leads per week, all right? Now, with 50 leads per week at 52 weeks a year, believe it or not, you would have 2,600 people to talk to, 2,600. And if you if you were terrible at the business, terrible at presenting, terrible at follow-up, terrible with everything else, I would almost guarantee you, with the size of that pond that you're fishing in with 2,600 people, at a 5% close, you'd easily put 130 new people in. This was some of the stuff that I had to learn that allowed me to take the lid off of what I was doing with my business, okay? And if you look at the average rep commission off of a fast start for a new person, regardless of what company you're in, 130 new reps at the average fast start commission, whether it's the initial sale of the product, service, or package, would be around $90. That'd be $11,700 on fast starts alone. On fast starts alone, okay? So think about this. Now, here's the thing. What if that was automated? Wouldn't that be kind of nice if you could actually get that to where it started to work on a regular, almost a residual basis? Okay. So the bold promise I have is, as I go through this, I'm going to show you the fastest way to generate between 10 and 20 quality leads per day. Okay. You might be happy with 5. You might want 50. All right. Now, real quick, who would be excited about that? Give me some hearts, some emojis, likes, comments saying, heck yeah, whatever it might be. I want to see some stuff. Okay. So here's the big problem. Most people have a product or business that they can't get the word out to enough people. More than likely you burned out. You've already burned out or don't even want to approach your warm market. I have a guy that I just recently talked to that was the perfect case. Okay. The other thing is you're competing against people like me, people that actually know how to do this. There's very few that really understand this on this level, but you're in a race against time. Okay. And in most cases, you're being taught 1970s trainings and lead generation techniques. And they've all worked. All those things work. But here's the thing. Everything I'm showing you, all the principles of networking never, ever, ever, ever will change. Whoever tells the story the most wins. What I'm talking about is taking your recruiting and your prospecting and your lead gen from Blockbuster, which worked in the past, to Netflix, to get this thing really, really rocking, okay? And I don't want you to be intimidated or scared of the internet, okay? So here's the thing. In this presentation, as I go through this, I'm going to try to get you to show you how to, I get people to come to me, but more importantly, how we get people to come to you, okay? What this does, knowing how to do these simple things that I show you will compress your time in the business, okay? These are 21st century strategies, and this is real marketing, okay? This is real marketing, and I'm going to show you how to really actually go pro, okay? Now, you might ask yourself this, is it worth it, and can I do it? I don't know if you can see that picture very well, but the guy sitting there looking like he's about ready to pass out from alcohol poisoning, that guy was me back in the, mid 90s, okay, coming out of the bar business and so on. And I had no business background. I had no sense pretty much, and so on, okay? So I'm just giving you a tip that if you were in your business right now and you saw that guy, you would not try to recruit that guy, okay? Luckily, I met an amazing wife, got married, had some amazing kids. I'm now the shortest guy in my house. And I've done this business now for more than 20 some years, been able to travel the world. And most importantly, I've been able to train thousands and thousands of people worldwide. Okay. Thousands and thousands. I've had training CDs that have sold into the hundreds of thousands. I have, people on my YouTube channels and so on. Okay. So I'm giving you relevant experience. Okay. And I've done this in different companies. I have built many organizations multiple times in the tens of thousands and so on. The reason is when I finally made the decision to go from being an amateur to a pro, everything changed, right? So let me slow down here for a second. See, if I use, what's nice about being able to use digital stuff, kind of online marketing type tools and systems these days, is you allow data to drive your decisions. Data can drive your decisions, and paid traffic helps you to grow it. Okay. This saying right here, if you're not using data to drive your decision, paid traffic to grow your business, you're dead, regardless of what it is. Okay. Regardless of what it is. And I've been paid a lot of money by companies and corporations actually to put marketing campaigns and stuff together. Okay. So let me show you how I'm going to automate and show you how to do this. Now, what I plan on doing is showing you where I get these leads. Okay. Using some paid stuff, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, primarily. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You can actually spend very, very little money, but I'm going to show you a slide in here in a second, but I'm going to say it ahead of time so that I make sure you stay here. Is if I gave you $1, if I gave you $2 for every dollar you gave me, how many dollars would you give me? Unlimited, right? You would just keep throwing them out there, because that's what happens if you start to get this figured out. All right. So I've been a 24-year entrepreneur. I've earned multiple 7 figures in the industry. I've been in internet marketing 11 years, and I have run over 1,000 ad campaigns in my career. Okay. So the old school way of doing business, we've all done this. I still do this. Okay. I still talk to people on the phone and so on, but we've all seen the dry erase boards that says, hey, just go get 3 people, help them get 3. And we hope that each one of those gets 3, and we're going to be rich by the weekend. This is what typically comes up. The problem is it usually doesn't work like that. What I learned to do is I've recruited, quote unquote, these platforms to get reps for me. Okay, hear me out on that. So I use Google Ads to get my message, my story, my presentation in front of the right people at the right time that helps. So Google's a rep for me. I use Facebook ads. That Facebook becomes a rep for me. Instagram ads becomes a rep. YouTube becomes a rep. If you understand what I'm saying, and what's happening is it allows you to take the pressure off of who you are, because you're letting these systems sort through people quicker. It's really, really powerful. Okay, I'll give you a case study. When I first started learning this strategy, I was in a company. This had to be over 10 or so years ago, right? And in 24 months, when I was just getting started learning this, I personally enrolled 105 people. But the cool part was, what blew me away was the fact the first one was really, really eye-opening. But then when it started to happen again and again and again, when I had 43 of those people I never even talked with until they'd already enrolled. Okay, think about that. Would that make a difference with your business? The next thing that next company I got in, got rolling, and in 7 months, I personally enrolled 177 people. 151 of those I never even talked to until they had it already enrolled. Okay, and these are screenshots from my inbox. I know you probably can't see it because it might be too little, but some of these were, they're more than one. Okay, the next company I joined, in 46 days, using these exact same simple strategies, 46 days, personally enrolled 110 people. 62 of those people I never even talked to until they'd already enrolled. And there's the emails. I mean, every single day, not only just one, but multiples on days and days, pages and pages of these. Okay. And then most recently, I jumped into something, and I went out there and I personally enrolled 160 people in 90 days. 152 of them had enrolled before I even talked to them. Okay, before I'd even talked to them. And I'm now up to, with this platform right here, this opportunity, over 322 people. Probably 300 of them had enrolled with me without me even doing it. Think about that. Okay, these are my inboxes. You have a new team member. You have a new team member. You have a new team member, and it goes on for pages. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I'm going through some of these slides. And I have used this PowerPoint. So if it sounds kind of like I've done it before, I have. I've used this PowerPoint in large presentations and trainings before. But I wanted to do it in this format just so you could kind of get it in a little different way, and I could talk to you guys. All right. So here's the thing. I heard this a long time ago, and it really changed my perspective on business. Guy said this. A guy that was doing a really famous guy said this. He said, the system is the leverage by which you turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. Okay. Great businesses do not look for extraordinary people. Great businesses look for ordinary people and leverage them with extraordinary systems. This is such a powerful, these two slides right here are some of the most, these two slides actually changed the way I did my business. All right. They actually changed the way I approached networking, because I had started to think about it. I thought about the fact that when I wasn't giving presentations live, a lot of times my business wasn't growing. If I wasn't doing a weekly meeting at a hotel because I was getting good at presentations, the business was dying. And most people wouldn't stand in front of the room to do that. And I understood that, because the second greatest fear on the planet is, public speaking, right? I think death is number one and public speaking is number two. And so I thought to myself that, there's got to be a way, but that was the only thing I knew. But when I heard that great businesses do not look for extraordinary people, great businesses look for ordinary people and leverage them with extraordinary systems, it gave me hope. But most importantly, I realized that if I could get systems in place for myself or my team, then things would change. The other thing is there's a myth of motivation that the same guy I learned this from mentioned. He said, rather than motivate people to increase productivity, you create systems to increase productivity, and the motivation will naturally follow. How many times have you seen product launches where it's kind of just blind enthusiasm and so on, that they spike and they get excited and everybody's just kind of blind ignorance and they're, running like with their hair on fire. And then all of a sudden, right after that, it kind of dies, because the enthusiasm will always dissipate. The initial enthusiasm will always dissipate in most cases for people. So if you have a system in place, it takes the pressure of you having to be motivated all the time off, to where you're allowing your systems, your presentations, your tools to do the heavy lifting for you. Does that make sense? Give me some hearts and emojis on that one, because that's a really, really important one. Okay. Because a lot of times too, I watch people in networking, basically they talk about freedom, but then they're doing all the presentations, all of the meetings, all the travel to see people and so on. And they've lost all their freedom. They've lost all their freedom to the point that they've become a slave to their business. I mean, I told a guy one time, he was making like $50,000 a month. And I told him, I said, that's incredible, but you are doing absolutely nothing that motivates me to want your lifestyle or your life, because you're not even around to spend it. He was just travel, travel, travel. He was the presenter. He was dynamic. He was amazing. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And that actually, I not only said that to him, but what happened was, luckily right after that was when I started to learn this stuff about having systems in place for people. Right. So here's the thing is, I wrote a book a few years ago that, a few thousand people have gotten their hands on. I've given away tons of these. I sell it on Amazon and so on, and you can get one for free. If you can see that at the end, I'll show you how to get it for free either way. But what I did was, my whole process of doing recruiting was, I would prospect somebody, by basically prospecting, just find a lead. I'd contact them. I'd give a quick presentation. I follow up with them, and I repeated it. All right. So that was my process. But the thing was, learning what I just showed you on a few slides ago about systems, I wanted to figure out how I could automate this process. How could I automate it to the point that the system would start to do the heavy lifting for me, do the things that I didn't like to do? Because I love to talk to people on Zooms and Facebook Lives and YouTube videos and so on. I love doing that. But I hate looking for those people, because if you don't have a way to find them that's easy, that's usually the thing that hurts people, right? How can I automate this? Because automation is to your time exactly what compounding interest is to your money. Read that again. Automation is your time exactly what compounding interest is your money. Now, here's the thing. In today's day and age, you've probably already been bombarded with this a phrase of a funnel, right? And everybody's got funnels and so on. But I don't want you to think of websites, web pages, things like that. I don't want you to make it too complicated, because this is the principle that you have to understand first. Because a funnel is just simply a series of steps put in a strategic order, where the goal is to take your prospect on a journey that makes them most likely to go from a prospect to a customer to a client. So what I've learned to do is, I've created tools for my team, tools for people that they can send people there. So if somebody doesn't want, they know very little or nothing about the internet, I don't need them to be internet marketers. I don't want them to be, because that's not their strength, right? Let me be have my strength and share that with my team, right? So what I typically had done is, I understood the pattern, the series of steps that were strategic, that helped to close people, that I put them in order. And I've actually done trainings on that before. It was called the Moneyball Growth Formula, where I went through and broke down. I did a case study on how I figured this out. Okay. But anyhow, so what I figured out how to do was this. I took my 5 steps, but that I have in my book, but I basically converted them to internet stuff. So I figured out I needed people to talk to, which is traffic. I needed to send them somewhere so they could see something, right? They could watch a presentation. It doesn't hurt to capture their information, whether it's a, opt-in, email, or whatever, right? And the most important thing, and not most important thing, but one of the most important, is rapport. You have to learn how to build rapport with people, because people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And then you make your proposal. The problem is most people, first off, can't find people. They don't know where they send them. If they do send them, it's usually only a couple people, which is, you usually can't work the numbers to make anything worth your while. And they usually haven't built enough rapport to make a real proposal. Okay. So what I figured out how to do is this: there's organic traffic, which is just basically You maybe put a post on your Facebook page. You just do something that just, if people see it, they click on it, and so on. A blog page, a blog post, a YouTube channel video, and so on. But if you want to put this on steroids, paid traffic is the way to go. And I may explain the difference between paid and organic. Organic is, you're in a situation where you're hungry. You like to eat corn, okay? Corn on the cob. And you have two options. You can grow corn by planting it, hoping it, watering it, and so on, or you can go to the store and buy corn. Okay, that's all it really comes down to. The difference between organic and paid is they're already out there. Okay, so what I figured out how to do was I figured out how to get people on using very, very cheap $1, $2 ads, that kind of thing, to get people to look at something. Like I mentioned before, and I'll show you how I kind of put this together, was I'd send people to look at my book I made. And the book, I made this book, it was so easy. It's just they call it a lead magnet. All the book is I did 5 short training videos on my 5 steps on my YouTube channel. Okay, this had to be probably back in 2010 or so. 5 steps: prospect, contact, present, follow up, and repeat. There are 5 different ones. I then downloaded each video, had each video transcribed, and each video became a chapter in my book. So all I did was talk like I normally did, and I did that, and then I put it in a PDF, and I got a cover made on Fiverr, and boom, I've got a lead magnet. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking for people that would be interested in my opportunity. Basically, I'm looking for networkers, because here's the thing too, is most people, a lot of times, why it's hard to recruit is you don't know what your target market is. And it's kind of like if you were a football coach and you were trying to build a football team, what do you recruit if you want to build get a football team going? Football players. So if you want to build a network marketing business, in my opinion, you should go after network marketers. So I look at it, and over the last 100 years, most people have been introduced to it or at least tried it. What I typically did is just had somebody simply opt in to get a free copy of this thing. But the most important thing was this: once I had them opt in, is in the emails, I basically sent 5 emails that had the 5 steps of the videos that I had done to create the book. So I was giving them video formats that basically just built a little rapport with them. That was all it was. And at the end of that last video, there was a link to click on there saying, hey, if you're interested, you can check this out. And it's pretty cool because you can see what I'm into these days. And all I did was just drive traffic to the front of that. So basically I used the traffic things to go to my landing page. They opted in, I built rapport, and then they went to whether they were going to join or not. So real simple. Okay, and these are some of the ads. You probably can't see it on Facebook or YouTube unless you've got the screen pretty big. I know this is kind of small, and I wasn't going to go through and tweak the entire PowerPoint to this. But basically, all roads lead back to one page. Really what I did. All right, but back to what I said to you earlier. If I gave you $2 for every dollar you gave me, how many dollar bills would you give me? If on the left-hand side there, if you could get a lead for $1, and you got 100 leads for $100, but only one of them out of the 100 joined, but your opportunity for what they joined as a customer or a distributor paid you $200. You know what this is called? This is called a license to print money. This is called a license to print money. How many of you guys, give me some hearts and love and comments down there. How many of you would love to have a license to print money? Every time you put $1 in, you got $2 back, right? And if you could put $1 in and got $1 back, it's a license to print money because you can just work the numbers and the numbers will work for you, okay? So it's pretty incredible. So check this out, and I'm going to speed through this, but this is basically what I did, okay? I showed these to you, all these things. You have to understand that your opportunity you can succeed in your opportunity if you realize that you have millions of people out there that you can target. Millions, okay? Worldwide. If you think about worldwide too, let alone in your state. I think I live in Columbus, Ohio. There's 13.5 million people in Ohio, okay? If 0.0001% of those people saw my stuff and got in, I'm rich, right? So let's look at this, okay? I'm going to show you the power of each platform real quick. I'm not going to go into detail on it, but I just want you to think outside the box Because to me, this stuff is fascinating because, again, about being a professional. And you can use this for any kind of business. So you might be doing network marketing on the side to create something, but you might be an insurance agent. You can use this same strategy. Okay. I've done this for insurance companies. They've hired me and they pay me a ton of money to do it. Okay. So Google ads, let's talk about this. The cool part about Google ads, why they're so powerful, is it doesn't have to be your website, but you could send them to a video. You can actually target people on websites that they visit. Okay. So if you wanted to target everybody that went to like Eric Worre's page or one of the other top networkers pages, or even a company's website, they track all that stuff. You can target videos people watch, keywords people type, and things people do. Okay. If you've already experienced it. If you've ever been on the internet, if you've ever shopped around, you know that it's spooky what they can do. Can you imagine the power of it if you know how to do some of that stuff? Okay, I know you're probably definitely not going to be able to see this slide, but the thing is you can actually go into Google when you're making your ads, and it'll say, hey, do you want leads? Do you want website traffic? That kind of thing. You want to use it in search ads? Do you want to get display and video? What's cool too is they have good customer service with these guys. They help you out and so on. What I really like about the fact is you can be targeted too. You can, if I'm running, let's say I'm doing a meeting and I want to get people dialed in my local market in Columbus, Ohio, I can actually run specific ads in just Columbus, Ohio. I can do them at specific times. You can do them to specific devices. If you only want people to see them on a computer or maybe on mobile or their iPads, you can do one or the other or all of them. You can pick men, women, age groups, demographics, household incomes. Why would you be going after people that can't rub two nickels together? Okay, think about that. If you could target people that you knew had money, would that make your customer count go up? Would that make your rep count go up? The nice thing about this is these, and I know you can't probably see some of these, is with like display ads, you can make them aware of what you've got your hands on. You can retarget them with bringing them back and so on. And I'm not going to go in, I'm not giving you a training on this stuff. Display ads are basically like the images you see because all these websites out there are put there. But think about it. If your picture, your page, your idea could go on there, you could get more traffic. And, you've all seen that if you've been to any web pages, you know what they look like. Okay. Audiences. I'm going to skip through some of this because these are from a training I did. One of my favorite things, I am going to slow down on this one, are Gmail ads. Gmail ads are dirt cheap and hardly anybody uses these. Okay. You might not be able to see that, but I'll read what that is if you're in Gmail and you go into your inbox, you see usually at the very top, especially in the promotions thing where they give you all these things, you'll see where there's ads up there, and they're really targeted because everything you type into Gmail is recorded, right? Everything you say, every website you visit is recorded. It's all algorithms, analytics, and stuff like that. So that if I type in and I made an ad for my book, I can actually put an ad to my book. It says one, if you can't read that, it says want a free copy of my book. And if they clicked it to open the ad, this is what it said. Want a free copy of my book? Get a free copy of my Network Marketing Made Easy book. Download now. And if they clicked it, it takes them to my website. Think about that. Okay. And this is what it looks like on mobile, which is kind of cool. You've all seen these. If they click on it, it's on there and it's boom, it's instant. Just like that. They open it, they click on it and so on. Right. And they send them there. And check this out. You hopefully you can see this. Is basically, there's the conversions. I got a 72% conversion rate on that book, 72% conversion. That means that of this one funnel that I had right here, this one web page, which is the very first one on the far left, if somebody clicks on it, unique visitors, 4,000 unique visitors, 2,950 opted in. Those are targeted people who have an interest in learning and so on. Think about the 72% opt-in rate, right? And then remarketing. I'm going to skip some of these. Check this out. YouTube. I love YouTube. Think about this for a second. What if, and my channel has grown because I've done some of these strategies. This is an old picture here, but I have 28,000 subscribers now. I've got 20,000 when I made this slide. 28,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel. And really all I've done is I put videos out there to help people, educate people, things like that, and so on. And under each one of my videos, if you look right there, I've got training courses, I've got, you know, my website link and stuff like that. So every time people go out there, and what's nice is if you learn how to do some of this stuff, YouTube will push your stuff out there for free. They're the best as far as organic traffic. And and obviously I run ads using their video. You can run video ads. You've all seen these. Check this one out. This is pretty funny. I made a, I got to pull my glasses on to see that number. I wanted to test something, and I made a 53-second video on YouTube called My Residual Formula Invite. And I basically talked to somebody and said, hey, if you're interested in residual income, you know, click here and opt into this thing. And then I would send them to a page, and it says this 30-minute video show you how to earn a real residual income. So all I did was so if we go back, I used a commercial that's one of those videos that plays in front of YouTube videos that drove somebody if they were interested, because all I said was, hey, if you're looking for residual income, I might have what you're looking for. That was in a nutshell. That was my 53 seconds. All right, this is something people overlook. A lot of people don't do it because they don't realize how simple it is, blah, blah, blah. And it was just, I mean, I was targeting the right people. I was looking for people interested in networking or say whatever it was, right? And I sent them there to create a residual. And this web page is very simple to make right here. And then I gave them the opportunity to opt in without putting their email. I put that big red thing, said, hey, click here if you want to watch without even opting in. And when they did that, I gave them a presentation. And basically my presentation was a 30-minute thing. I was true to my word on what I was doing in my business. And it was just a YouTube video presentation. It was a video that I did recording my screen using a PowerPoint, and I uploaded it to YouTube, and I just put it on this web page. And think about that. Look at this. Let's go back to the beginning right here. I run it. I make a short I made that video ad with my iPhone. Okay. It took me about probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes to type this out and make that page. And then I put it on the other page right here. And then I have the steps. So if somebody likes what they see on that page, you see the button on the far right says learn more. It clicks over and takes them to maybe more detail or something like that, depending on what I've pitched them on. All right, think about that. And Facebook ads, you should know the power of Facebook ads. But check this out. Lead generation on Facebook is out of control in a good way, because when you run a lead gen ad, so I'm using different platforms for this stuff, right? So when you do lead gen ads, what's really cool is because they are targeting people on Facebook. If somebody clicks the lead gen ad button that says, yeah, I want your info, it automatically pre-populates their name, their phone number, their email address. And you get that. You get all of that because then the person has zero friction to submit their information to you. So if you make a simple thing like I've used these, and I mean, you can usually get lead gen ads depending on what your pitch is, what you're trying to market, anywhere from $3. I've gotten some as little as 50 cents, and they're hyper targeted. You can call them up and they'll know exactly what you did in a real time too. Okay. The cool part about Facebook is there's over 2.1 billion people using Facebook worldwide. 2.1 billion with a B. I did not stutter. Okay. You don't need too big of a slice of that pie to tap into some people. You can make single image ads, video ads, slideshows, and so on. I love the fact that you can go into Facebook and you can click on there, and Facebook will actually tell you who to target. Like in audience interest, you might not be able to read that, but on audience interest, what I do is you go in here, and this is free on Facebook in their ads section. It's called Audience Insights. It's remarkable. I'll go in there and I'll type in like a networker, and especially like Network Marketing Pro, Eric Worre has probably the largest following in network marketing. And if you click on page likes, that little button there, it will show you all of the other pages that have a affinity, meaning they're just like that type of thing. Those people are almost exactly the same. And when you run your ad for $5 a day to people who love network marketing and you're pitching network marketing, take a wild guess how simple that is to get clicks, likes, and shares. Okay, it's not rocket science. Here's a perfect example. This was an ad I did. It said, want to get customers for your networking business? Then you're going to love this tip. So I just basically, I made a video with a tip on it. That was it. That's all I did. Okay. And it got great engagement. I think I spent about $30 on it. 3,000 people saw it through paid traffic. This one was kind of what they call a unicorn. This is probably one of my favorite ones I did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to post a blog post so it looks kind of native to the Facebook. And I was in a company that was doing a keto product, ketogenesis product, ketogenic product, right? Ketosis is the thing I'm thinking of. It said keto hack your body in 60 minutes or less. That was the headline of the blog post. And I don't write for squat. Like, I suck at writing. I am definitely not a copywriter. I just all I did was put keto hack your body in 60 seconds, watch 60 minutes or less, watch this video. The video was on the web page, the blog page, right? But what was cool is, check if you can see that in the circle, it's 199 people shared that post. And all I did was take a picture of meat. It was a picture I got off of like Pexels or one of those, royalty-free sites. And check this out. I spent $40. The ad ran for 12 days because you probably can't see that. I had 128 link clicks just from this. And this ad alone got me a few hundred customers on a keto product. I made thousands of dollars off of spending by just thinking it out a little bit. It literally, to put the blog post together, probably took me about half an hour, and to put that together. Okay. Here's my networking book. Okay. Free download network marketing book. Check that out. $30. I had thousands of people reach it. I only ran it for 2 days when I ran that thing. It said free attention. It called them out. Attention network marketers. I don't think you can run as many direct network marketing ads as you used to on Facebook. You have to be a little more creative. But what's pretty cool is you can do that. But $30, thousands of people looked at it, right? And then the last thing is the Instagram. Same situation, because Instagram's owned by Facebook. All right, YouTube is owned by Google, in case you didn't know that. You can do the same thing. I like to use little video ads because, again, it's all about building rapport. I just goof around. I'm myself. I put these things together, okay? All right, so I promised you guys that if you hung around, and it looks like I kept most of the people that were on here, and even added some, I've got some free stuff for you. All right, so here's your gifts. So you can write these down if you want to grab a pen and paper, or I'll leave it up and you can screenshot it and you'll be able to do. The first one I'm giving you is this, is if you want to see another version kind of what I did on this, maybe a little slower, that you'll be able to see the screen even better. If you go to healy.click/webinar, you will be able to do that. What's cool is if you do that, you'll be able to kind of see how I have that set up. And oh, by the way, you can get any of these funnels that I just showed you. I'm going to give them to you here in a second. Okay. The other thing is, if you've never gotten my book, I would recommend that you get the book, because not only if you're in networking should you read that book, and definitely the first couple chapters of it, at least the intro itself, will get your attention. But it will also, once you opt in for the book, you'll see that I offer a bunch of other free trainings with that. This is a page where I have I have a bunch of funnels that you can download for free. Okay. So if you go to healy.click/funnels, every funnel that I basically showed you as an example, you can download those for free. You just click on one of the links. That will take you, that page right there will go to, I have them all on my blog page, and it'll go right to those, and you can download them if you want them. All right. The other thing is this, is if you want a small course on Facebook leads, I've got one, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. I'm going to show you my bigger courses too, just so you can check them out. But if you go to healy.click/Facebook leads, I have a mini course that I created for people who maybe don't want to, get the bigger stuff that I offer, but maybe just want to test it out. It's specific on those lead gen ads. Okay. So you can get that. And then for free as well, you can get, if you're not a part of it, I would recommend that you join my Facebook group called First Class Marketing. I think I have a little over 1,000 people in there now. And what I do is, if I come up with something that's kind of a unique software or system or tool that I found that I think is relevant to any of us, I make a quick video on it explaining it, and I put it in that First Class Marketing group. And if you just click on the units tab in there, you can check it out, and it's really good. Okay. So here's the thing. This stuff's not theory. I showed you the case studies at the very beginning. If you're just getting on here, like I said, I have now personally enrolled over 2,000 people in my career. I could do this with any company I ever joined. I don't care what it is or when I joined. I can always join a company and always make money in it because I understand these strategies. As long as the company does their job, I do mine, and it works. Okay. I've also been paid thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this for companies. So it's pretty cool. Good news is I know how to simplify this stuff. I do think that I have a good knack for training people. So if you're a newbie or you're just learning this stuff, I can show you how to do this if you're interested. So how do you get started? Basically, I showed people how to do this. Okay, so here's the good news. The cool part is you get to choose in your life. Okay, option one, you can make a list of friends and family and hope they do it. Or number two, option two, you can become a money-making lead machine. All right, so here's what I have that you can go look at if you want weight on this or take a screenshot. But Healy.click/course, I have courses on everything that I have. You have 100% access to them any day of the night, whatever. And I do update these as need be, occasionally as things come in. If I learn something new, I add it to the courses. But with like the marketing funnel mastery, a lot of people don't understand how simple, how to make funnels. My course shows you how to map them, landing pages, funnels, and most importantly, I already have funnels that you can click a button and they already download for you. So you already have that. You just basically swap your link for my link kind of thing. So I've already made the pages, the stuff on there, and you just swap them out. That's really all it comes down to. With Google Ads, I show you how to set it up. I give you tips. I show you how to run the search, video, display, Gmail ads, campaigns, how to search for stuff so you're targeting right people and so on. YouTube, this is probably my favorite YouTube ads mastery course. I've made a lot of money from YouTube. Not only is my channel monetized, so people going there a lot of times get it, but I know how to customize it. And most importantly, if you do it correctly, you can actually get people. YouTube will push your stuff out and they'll find you right away. Okay. And then Facebook, I have a mastery course on that, which teaches you setup, marketing tips, and how to run every single type of ad, and some advanced stuff on there as well. Okay. And lots more. So I got basically 40 videos in those 4 courses. Most people don't understand. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars learning this. Most people would spend between 25 and 10,000 per month for just the basics on this. And if you hired me, most of the time when I do do these type of things, marketing strategies for companies, I usually make them do a minimum $15,000 contract for 3 months before I do that. And then it's a lot of times it's just on a regular thing. So I don't charge 10 grand for courses or 5 grand. You can get each course for $495, but the bundled group is only $997. So if you wanted all these courses, all 40 videos, plus all the stuff I add, I'm telling you, it's totally worth it. Okay. Last thing. And if you don't have that kind of budget, here's the last thing. If you want the Facebook mini course, it's very simply this: Healy.click/Facebook or FB leads, Healy.click FB leads, and that will take you right to that course. So all that being said, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to go full screen on you peeps right now. I am going to go solo on you. What's up? What's up? I got a lot of great things in the chat right here. Really, really appreciate everything. If you've got questions, you guys are dismissed. I know I went nearly 50 minutes on this, and hopefully you got some information on here. I'd love, some question. If you got questions, you got, your anything like that. And also, if you join the Facebook marketing group, the first class marketing group, if you join that, you can ask me questions inside there. I do respond to that. If you go to my YouTube channel and you make posts under this, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to make comments below, share it, like it, so on. Subscribe to my channel. I put out lots of good content. I've got podcasts now going and so on. It's really good. So did you guys get a lot out of here? Maybe everybody's good. I know I covered a ton of stuff. You probably understand that. Feel free to give me some likes and hearts. I can see you guys see what I look at. So basically throughout the presentation, I kind of peek down here to make sure the screen's doing right. I can see some comments and things like that. But anyhow, It's been, has it been some work? Yeah. Was there a learning curve? 100%. You've got to really figure these things out. But what's nice is if you do these things, if you start to learn some of these tips and strategies that I just showed you, it really, really, really makes your business give you more confidence too. And the other thing too is if you learn some of these things, you give yourself a massive, massive competitive advantage over everybody else that doesn't know how to do this stuff. Okay. Like I know that I intimidate a lot of people, leaders and companies and things like that, because they can't keep up with the stuff that I can do or put out. So that's an advantage I have, right? If you could teach your people how to do leads, how to do systems and so on, and keep it simple to the point that they can do it, you set yourself apart, right? And not every, and the thing is too, is it's not everybody even needs to know all that stuff. They just need to know that they have somebody they can count on. I'm sorry, that's the word I was looking for. They just need to know they have somebody that they can count on that can answer those questions. Because now in today's day and age, especially if you're talking to people under the age of 30, they are a lot more tech savvy for sure. Back in the day, I'm 52 years old at the time we're doing this. And that's what's been pretty amazing, is learning this stuff has given me a competitive advantage over a lot of people who don't know how to do that. So anyhow, I appreciate you guys for being on here. It's been, hopefully you've gotten a lot out of it. Feel free, this video will replay on my Facebook channel. So if you missed it or you want to do a watch party with it, or share it in a group or whatever, feel free to do that. Make comments, share it, that kind of thing. Same thing with YouTube. It'll be on here. If you go to my YouTube channel, I think you can click on videos and then lives or something. I just figured out how to put something under there so you can find them easily. But thank you again for being on here. I really appreciate it. I am going to jump off because I got another presentation I got to do in another 55 minutes. So I will see you guys and really appreciate it. And thanks for everybody jumping on.